We're at a historic tipping point for women. In October 2017, the hashtag #MeToo spread across the globe. What began as a Hollywood sexual assault scandal sparked a public reckoning around the world.
I was asked as to why I'm putting together these conversations about such delicate and incendiary topics. And the truth is, I've been frustrated watching the news and reading the newspaper about the lack of candor and balance in discussing these issues that affect us all.
I've seen signs of kind of panic around sexuality and particularly a tendency to vilify all men.
People are not actually going through any court process.
We are risking a kind of sort of social media lynching.
There's this part of me that's getting so excited in this conversation because I have been feeling really devastated by recent events. Now, people might watch this a year from now, so I don't want to necessarily timestamp this, but I'll say it and it can be edited. The Kavanaugh hearing, he just got sworn in as a Supreme Court judge. And to me, it felt like such a slap in the face of not just feeling like an American, but feeling like a woman. It felt like a kick in the shins, a kick in the gut, because I felt like all of Christine Blasey Ford's testimony, it just got trashed. It didn't mean anything. But yet, just like with Anita Hill, even though Clarence Thomas was found innocent, it still left a stain. It marked something. Something was set in motion. Sexual harassment was never looked at exactly the same, and the momentum is built. And there is more. I'm getting the chills. Even though Christine Blasey Ford's testimony didn't render Kavanaugh un-Supreme Court judgeable, there's still but as a man, you're not sitting here feeling like, yeah, we could go back to business as usual because Kavanaugh is a Supreme Court judge. Woohoo, man, we could still grab all the women we want. No. Even though he's still got the position that I don't think he deserves. You're wanting to have this conversation because it's still a reality. The Me Too movement is still happening. Even if we're not seeing all the progress we want, progress is being made nonetheless. Reach for the moon, at least you end up at the stars, or vice versa. Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to talk about Kavanaugh because it's going to come up in a minute, but there's one more thing, and I, like you, share great disappointment over that, maybe for different reasons, but I wanted to shift because I wanted to complete that one thought I was talking about when I realized that the former relationships I had and my current
Yes.
wife, that I was being insensitive. Mm-hmm. And I took it one more step, and I think this will be powerful for many men that watch this. So my friends are honest enough to tell me because I asked them, but I was single until I was almost 39 years old. And I had a lot of women I dated in those years, and I was sexual with all of them, or tried to be sexual with all of them. Now, I never drank, I never did drugs, and I saw myself as a great guy and a nice guy. So I don't have the awareness of ever raping a woman. I was certainly forceful in my persuasive techniques. But I wonder, those are my recollections. I wonder if I could talk to the women that I dated over that time, if they would have a similar recollection and say, Matthew, you were really pushy, or I felt really uncomfortable, or I felt really invaded. And I have to believe they would. So I have hurt women. I have imposed myself on women, and most of the men that have dated before they married, if they ever married, probably did too. So what I'm saying is that as men, we need to own this. We need to own that we have damaged women with our selfishness. And of course it's usually around sex, because most men probably have a stronger drive than most women, and that's a generalization, but it tends to stand true. And we need to own it. Because we're not going to move forward and we're not going to heal this until we take a look at ourselves in the mirror and own what we've done. And this is not just us, this is going back millennia. So we're going to be the beginning of a healing journey for ourselves and for the women in our lives. And it is painful and it is shameful to have to own that, but I have no choice. I am so grateful that I have loving women in my life to help me through it, because that's, I believe, what women's roles are, in part, is to come here and help men find who they are. And there was a wonderful master that I studied for years, and he said, women incarnate to teach men about love. And I'm not going to impose that on viewers that may not hold that, but I hold it myself. So before we're going to shift in a minute and talk about what women can do, but I just needed the women to know that we're not sweeping this under the table, that I know, and the men that get it will know that we have some responsibility in this dynamic.
All I want to know, I mean, it's really touching because it just feels really good to hear you say that you want to take responsibility, that you're sorry. After the Kavanaugh hearing, I was so upset, and I was telling Dana, my husband, like, he's like, what can I do for you? And I was like, I just want you, even though you haven't hurt me, I just want you to, on behalf of all the men who had, I just want you to say you're sorry. I don't want you to kill yourselves. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to stop being a man. Just apologize. Like that, just the thought of that, it just feels fucking good.
Kelly, I apologize on behalf of all men who've been insensitive and foolish and brutal around women. I apologize to you and everyone watching this, all right?
Thank you. And I receive that. And I also want to apologize to you on behalf of the women that were passive and that were just trying to please you and that participated in some kind of sexual way that ended up making you, not making you, but participating in that dance, that they weren't honest and didn't have the self-esteem in that moment to be able to be in their truth. And also to the women that have been hurtful or curt or rude or insensitive to the beautiful heart underneath you, underneath any words or deeds that you've had.
Yeah, we have to come here to dance together. I think it's important. One more thing I want to say about your need for an apology, I think it was beautiful. My wife and I had the chance to spend 4 days camping on the Navajo Reservation in northern Arizona, a place called Canyon de Chelly. And one of the Navajo people, and they call themselves the Dene, they don't call themselves Navajo, they talked about the history of the native people there, which is brutal. The slaughter, the betrayal, the breaking of treaties, the slaughtering of men, women, and children, the genocide that we perpetrated upon the native peoples in this country. And they said, all we want is an apology. Yeah. An acknowledgement of what happened, an apology. And it's like, oh my God, it's important. It's important that perpetrators apologize.
But it feels like I understand why the apology doesn't come. Because just even my little stupid pizza situation, and I've done other things too, but it's hard. It feels like if I admit that, then I must be horrible and I must then die. It feels like the admission equals death. And the truth is, I admitted this. You're still sitting here. You know, I'm a pizza stealer.
I'm not going
anywhere. And I know that your ex-girlfriends said, yeah, you did things that I wasn't in the mood for, and I still love you. And these things are forgivable.
What I'd like to do at this point is this. I felt it was important to advocate on behalf of women first.
Yes, thank you.
Because I wanted them to see that there's an intention here and a purity of intention and spirit. And now I want to shift gears. I want to advocate on behalf of men.